Hello and welcome to Zen and the Art of the Guardian Sudoku puzzle for Monday, the 25th of January 2021. Today's puzzle is marked as easy, so I hope to be welcoming beginners today or people who don't have too much experience in solving Sudoku puzzles. Stick with me today and hopefully learn how to complete the grid. How do we go forward? Well, I'll explain the rules in a second, but this is Zen and the Art of the Guardian Sudoku, so we normally have a chat about what's going on in the world and or anything else that I feel like, and what's happening in the world. Medical experts, Dr. Fauci and Doctors Fauci and Birx have come out and stated that the previous Trump administration was basically full of fraudsters, giving nonsense information about COVID-19, which I think we all realize already. Anyway, anybody who is not a watcher of Fox News would probably know anyway. The president of Mexico has caught COVID-19, but still the horrific pandemic rages across the world. We are getting on with our Sudoku puzzle, so we're going to clear our minds of all that stuff and start to think about how to fill in this puzzle. So a quick explanation of the rules. You probably may have heard the rules before, let's say, but if you haven't, here they are now. So we have a large grid which is divided into 9 different segments, and each segment is divided into 9 squares. So 9 is the magic number here, and what we're looking for is within each segment we have to have the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and also within a column we need numbers 1 to 9, and within any row we need 1 to 9. So it's any segment, any column, and any row. That's it. That's all there is to it, really. So how do we go about it? Well, we look for numbers that can only appear in one location. That's really the idea here. For example, if you look in this area here, you might notice that there is a 1 which leads up this column here, meaning that we cannot have a 1 anywhere else in this column, right? We've got a 1 here at the bottom square. So there's no 1 here, 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 or anywhere up in this column. There's also a 1 in this column here, and that means no other ones can appear here, right? So if you consider, both this column and this column are entirely blocked. But in this segment here, we also need numbers 1 to 9. And that leaves only this square, which is not seen by a 1, not blocked by 1. And so the 1 has to appear here. So we can write that in. And it's a good idea to have 2 kinds of writing device, really. A pen, and I use a marker pen and a ballpoint pen, but you could use a pen and a pencil, an eraser, or whatever you want, really. But if you only have one writing device, make sure you put the completed numbers as large numbers so that you don't get confused with something else we're going to look at later, which we call candidates. Okay. Now what we need to do is look around the grid. You may be wondering, well, what am I looking for? Well, you're looking for anything that you can see which appears to be fairly easy. Like this one was really an easy number to see, I think. Hope so, anyway. Okay, so in a similar vein, if we bring our attention down to this segment here, you'll notice there's a 2 going across this row. So remember, that means there are no other 2's here, so that the row is blocked. There's a 2 in this bottom row, so it can't appear in any other location. So blocked here, blocked here. But look at the top, there is a 2 in this column, and remember, that means no other 2's down here. So blocked, blocked, and blocked. The 2 has to appear here. It's a logical process. This 8 in this column here means 8 can't appear here or here in this segment, right? Bring it down. And so it's going to appear here. This 1 now, you see how that we've reduced the number of possibilities. So we filled in 2 and 8. So right now there are only 2 squares left in this segment. So this is what happens. As you fill in the numbers, you have fewer and fewer options to choose from. A moment ago we didn't know where 1 could go, but now we do, because there are only 2 squares left. And we see that 1 can't come here. So it has to come here because that's the only remaining square. And there is only 1 number left, and if you count through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you'll find that 7 is the missing number there. And so we've actually got 1 segment which is filled already, so that's quite a good start. Where to go? I find it really difficult to try and advise people about how to look for numbers, because having played the game for such a long time, numbers tend to jump up at you, I think, just by themselves almost, after you've played the game for a long time. That's not very helpful if you're a beginner, I understand. But just so maybe try and see where there are a large concentration of numbers. I mean, obviously now that we've done this, we might consider this side or this side as potential ways to go forward, or possibly up here as ways to go forward as well. Now there are various methods that you can use, but okay, I've seen something already. So if we consider this 5, so we just have to keep looking, okay? If we see this 5 coming down this column here, and this 5 going across this row here, we can see that we're blocked here and we're blocked here. So 5 has to come here, like so. Okay. Right, now I'm going to teach you a piece of logic, and hopefully you'll see how the game goes forward. But if you consider this 5 up here, and you know that it goes across this row, so you know that there can't be a 5 here or here. Do you agree? In this segment here, well, these 3 central squares are already in this row here, already filled in. So that means that in this segment here, 5 has to appear somewhere along here, doesn't it? Because it's blocked here, and this has already got numbers in it, it's going to appear here. So the 5 is going to block along this row and along this row also. So in this segment on the right here, these 2 squares are out and these 3 squares are out. Now if we extend the columns up, what do we see? There's a 5 down here blocking this square, and there's a 5 here blocking this square, and so the only possible place a 5 can go is in the middle. Just to show you that again, this 5 blocks here. We know that a 5 is somewhere along here. We don't know where, but it's got to go somewhere along there. So blocking and blocking here and blocking here. That's the only possible place it can go. You might hear some strange sounds from a megaphone. That's a traveling salesperson. In fact, what they're doing is soliciting second-hand electrical appliances. If you've got something old that you want to sell, you could rush out and sell it to them now. I do have something actually, but since I'm busy doing this video, I'll just let them pass. I apologize for the noise, but Sudoku, you know, very rarely do we have silence. Well, I live in Thailand, and we never have silence in Thailand, so you have to put up with the noise and take it as part of the game, part of playing the game. Okay. Where were we? I was looking down here and across here. Do I see anything spectacular? Yeah, okay, so there's a 4 in this row here, which you can extend along, meaning there's no 4 here or here. There's also a 4 here, which means that square is out. So if you extend the 4s along, you'll see that that's the only possible location a 4 can go. This 1 that we filled in previously now comes along blocking these two, and so that's the only position a 1 can appear. The missing two numbers are 7 and 8, and at the moment we don't know which is which, and so we won't do anything for the moment. We'll just leave it. That's my advice. Now other people will tell you should write in 7 and 8, and at some, depending on the level of Sudoku you're doing, yes, that it can be good advice as well, but I always try to leave possibilities until easy certainties are done first, and I'll try to explain why as we go along. Right now, in this bottom row we can see only 1 square remains, so we must be able to calculate it, right? If there's only 1 left, there's only 1 possibility. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There is no 8 in the bottom row, so that's what's missing. So we'll fill that in now. Still the noise continues. Okay, we have 2 numbers missing here. Now if we have 2 numbers missing, we could find out what they are by seeing which 2 numbers that we don't have. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We don't have a 6, and we don't have a 7. So the 2 missing numbers are 6 and 7. And actually, right now I am going to show you how to fill in the candidates. I'm going to do it because I want to know these 2 numbers also. And so I'm just using a ballpoint pen here to fill in these candidates. So 6, okay, so sorry, so 9 and 3 can't appear here. They are the remaining squares. Let me just say that again. There are several ways to find out these numbers, but let's just go back to what I said before. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 we don't have in this row, so we can fill in 6 and 7 here. If you then look in this sector here, you can find which numbers are missing. 1, 2, well, we didn't have this, so 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 was the other number, so 9 and 3 can go here. Maybe I will fill this in now. I said before that I wouldn't bother, but I think I will. I'm allowed to change my mind. We are. In life, we're allowed to change our mind, and in Sudoku, we're always allowed to change our mind because it's just a game, remember? So this bottom part is kind of, we've done as much as we can at this stage, so where to consider next? Well, when I see something like this, a column or a row which has, you know, like a lot of consecutive numbers and missing numbers from one segment, then I think that's probably a good place to go. So let's see which numbers are missing. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We don't have 6, 7 we don't have 8 or 9. So the missing numbers are 6, 8, and 9. So we're going to put those numbers in. We call them candidates, okay? And so let's just think about this. So missing numbers are 6, 8, and 9. Well, let's take the 9 first. We know that this could be a 9 and this could be a 9, but this can't be because this 9 blocks it here. So we're going to fill in this as a pair. We know that 8s can't be here, but can go here or here. So we're going to fill that in as a pair also. Now this is a bit different to what we saw down here where you had exclusively 2 numbers only. And now we've got 6. Now there is nothing intersecting to tell us whether a 6 is blocked from any of these squares, so actually it could come in any of them. And what I do at this stage is I write it in the bottom right hand corner. I keep the numbers that are only a pair in the top left, and numbers that could be more than 2 locations in the bottom right. I hope this is not getting too difficult for you. Okay, there's not too much else that I need to think about around here. I'm going to leave that region. I don't think it's going to be that fruitful at the moment. So I'm going to leave it and come back to it later. I'm just going to start looking around for pairs of numbers. So for example, this, when I see this 7 across here, and this 7 across here, and this 7 up here, so blocked, blocked, and blocked, I can see a pair of 7s going there. And that's what I'm going to do now. Just going to look around for any pairs that I can see. Eights here. Okay, this 8 comes across the center, and there's an 8 from the bottom here blocking this row. So that's a pair of 8s here and here. Excuse the traffic noise, it's still continuing. There is actually, I can fill in this square here now. This 5 goes up this column here. This 5 comes down this column here. So blocked and blocked. Rather like we had the 1 here before. There's only one possible location for a 5. It has to go there. And since the 5 goes across here and across here, blocked and blocked, you should see that there's only one possible place the 5 can go, which is there. And since we're continuing this, 5s are already blocked from here, and 5 is blocked in this column, and so it has to appear here. That's how Sudoku is solved. The 1, this 1 here, if we take that across, and we take this one up this column, so blocked here and blocked here, the 1 is going to have to appear here, like so. When we consider this one that we just filled in, bring it down, and this one up, we are blocking here, and we also have a 1 here, blocking. So the 1 is going to appear here, like so. The 1 that we just filled in, if we take that one across now, and this one across, like so, blocking, blocking, and there's also a 1 here, up. So you see, every time we fill in a number, we are left with fewer and fewer options, and it just gets easier as you go along. This 1 now, can take that up the page, this column has a 1 in it already, 1, 1, 1 in this top row, 1 in this lower row here, a 1 is going to appear here. And in fact, that is all of the 1s in this particular grid, so we don't have to concern ourselves with the number 1s anymore. Now, there are people who have different techniques in Sudoku. Some people are actually trying to look for all of the number 1s in the puzzle, all of number 2s, all of number 3s and 4s, and you know, that's one way of doing it. It's not my method, but it is a method of doing it. And so now I should just probably come back to looking for pairs again, because I can see a few, I saw a few around. So we have this 9 coming down this column here, and this 9 coming up this column here, so blocking here, blocking here. We have a pair of 9s here and here. The 7 stops there being a 7 here, which means there are a pair of 7s here and here. This column has 2 numbers missing, so we can find out what they are. 1, 2, 3. We don't have a 4, 5, 6, 7. We don't have an 8. So 4 and 8 are the missing 2 numbers here. Fortunately for us, we have an 8 intersecting here. So this allows the 8 here. 8 is going to have to appear here. And our only number left is 4, so that goes there. Okay, now we have 4 across this row, 4 across this row, and also a 4 up here. So we have space for a pair of 4s here, like so. We have a place for a pair of 2s. This 2 extends up this column here, and this 2 across this center. So 2 comes here and here. I must say, for a beginner's puzzle, I think they didn't give you that many numbers to begin with. Never mind. Okay, so I see a 2 coming up here, 2 coming down here. So 2 is blocking this column. I'm talking about the central section blocking here. There's 2 blocks here. There's a 2 across here. So that has to be 2. And we notice that we are overwriting a 9 in the top left, which meant it was part of a pair. So we can fill in the 9. Motorbikes, motorbikes. There is 1 number missing from this central column. We can find out what it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 6, I believe. There is no 6, so that's our missing number. Now what we should do is, and this is an important thing, is before we go any further, now that we've put a 6 in here, just check, because we had a 6 as a candidate along here, and now we have 6 and 6 here. Now in my own technique, and one that I think is quite a good idea, is to promote the 6 up here, because it's a pair. I know that it's a pair of 6s. That can be useful for the harder level puzzles once you learn how to do them. We've almost finished actually the much of this puzzle. You'll see why coming soon. Okay, so there are my apologies, I just had to take a phone call there. My local market tradesperson told me that he had a particular type of curry available today and asked did I want to buy it, and of course my answer is yes. It's masaman kai, and quite tricky to get nowadays, and they just happen to make it really nicely, so I'll go and pick that up later. Now back to the Sudoku. That's the trouble, interruptions to our concentration. Now I was about to say 2 missing numbers here, 7. The other missing number is 3 from this segment. You'll notice there is a 3 going up here already. Right, so we know that this can't be a 3 here, that has to be a 3 here, and we know that that is the only remaining number now, is a 7. Now because we had a pair of 7s here before, we realized that that 7 can't be a 7 because there's 1 here, and so 7 has to appear here. There are only 2 squares left here now. In this region, missing squares are 4 and 6. And if you look, there's a 6 blocking here, and there's a 4 blocking here. So the way around is 6 is here, and 4 is here. Excuse me. Now, the 6 that we just filled in, if we bring that along the row, this row here, and we have a 6 here, which we can extend along here. So blocked and blocked. There's only 1 location left, so that has to go here. We remember that we had an 8 here as part of a pair, so the 8 has to fit there. There's only 1 missing number on this row here now, and that's an 8. In fact, you can see the 8s extend across as well. Back to this pair that we filled in earlier. If we bring that down, we realize that can't be an 8 now, so 8 has to be here, and that has to be 7. Noise is getting worse and worse, I apologize. Okay, this 4 extends up this column here now, and so in this segment, which doesn't have a 4, there's only 1 square remaining, so the 4 is going to have to appear here. This 3, if we bring this 3 across in this row, is blocking here. We don't have a 3 in this segment, and so 3 will have to appear here. And there's only 1 number missing from this segment, and that's 9, so we'll fit that there. Okay, in this column we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We don't have a 6 and we don't have a 7. We have 8, 9. So 6 and 7 are missing. 6 is already blocking this square here, so that's going to be 6. And the final number is 7. down here. We can see that there's a 9 missing from here, but there is a 9 in this, blocking this central square, so we have a pair. So 2 and 9, and 2 and 9. Not sure what they're doing outside, some kind of construction. There's only one number missing from here now, and that is a 3. We have 1, 2, we don't have a 3, so we know that's what it is. This 3 that we just filled in, we can extend that across. This 3 we can extend across here like so, this 3 across here like so, and there's a 3 blocking here, so that's going to give us a pair 4 and 3. When we have a pair of numbers like this, 4 and 3, it means that nothing else can go in those two squares. It's exclusively 4 or 3. Nothing else is allowed, and that's useful for later on. There's one number missing from this row here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is our missing number. Let's fill that in now, and let's remember that earlier on we had this pair of 9 and 3 down here, so the 9 can't come here, it will go there, and that's a 3. Our 6 that we filled in before will also block this 6 now. 6 will be there, 7 will be there. The 7 that we just filled in, if you take that up, you'll see 7's up here like so, 7's up here, 7's blocking, 7's blocking, 7 is going to appear here. So there are 2 numbers missing here. What are they? 2 and 4 are missing in this segment here. Do we have any 2's or 4's? No, actually we don't, so we'll just put that in as a candidate pair. Even though we're quite close to the end, you can see we only got a few numbers left. Sometimes we can still put in candidate pairs even when we're getting close to the end. So this is only 2 or 9, and this is only 2 or 4. There's only one segment now where we don't have all of the candidates filled in, right? So we are missing some candidates. But earlier on, when we filled in this 8, we didn't remove candidate 8 here, which I should have done. So remember, because that was part of a pair, okay, remove the 8, we have to fill it in. That's there. Now notice that I just overwrote a 6 there, and so that means that the 6 is going to be here, and then I just overwrote the 9, so the 9 is going to be there. If we bring that 9 back again, we realize it can't be here, so that's got to be a 2, and our 9 is going to be here. There is one number missing along here, and that is a 2 from this row. We don't have a 2, so that's 2 there. If we bring that 2 down here, 2 will appear here. 4, because it's a pair of 2 or 4. The 4 back up, 4 has to come here, 3 has to come here. That's how we solve Sudoku. That's an easy level puzzle. Didn't need any really sophisticated logic, just a bit of looking around the board and seeing what can possibly go. And I think life is useful like that, as a series of fairly small puzzles that we can solve, and hopefully that will take us on a path of leading to solving larger problems and puzzles in our lives. Okay, now that we've finished, it seems to be getting slightly quieter, so maybe we'll have a chance to rest now. Thank you very much. You've tried an easy puzzle. Try some more easy ones, medium puzzles, and once you get confident, don't forget to do the link and try it yourself. Click on the link and try the puzzle yourself. And the more confident you get, the more higher levels puzzles you'll be able to attempt, getting yourself right up to the expert level. That's it for today. Thank you. Bye-bye.